Today I'm filming in a different part of the fish room, an area that I don't show on camera very often because it's kind of the behind the scenes area where I keep my fish foods and some of my other products. My refrigerator, my sink is back here. So it's not really a display area, it's more of an area just for me to keep things that I need to keep this fish room running. Now, I do keep it pretty tidy back here anyway because sometimes it is on camera, so I like to display my foods and products nicely, but I don't show it very often on film. But anyway, today we're going to be back here because I have a new project. Now, if you watched a recent video, you may have noticed at the end of the video, if you stuck around till the end, that I said that I was working on something back here, that I kind of messed it up. I was going to show you guys and kind of left a teaser. Well, here it is. I have a brine shrimp hatchery. Now, for a lot of you, this might be something that's very common. It might be something that you've done before or you currently do. This is something I've actually never done before, and I've been keeping fish for a long time. I've been keeping fish pretty seriously for several years. Got pretty heavy into the hobby 20 years ago and have been keeping fish ever since. All kinds of fish. You know that I've bred fish, I've sold fish for profit, had an aquarium service business, all kinds of things. But I never bred brine shrimp. I've done other live foods. You saw my Daphnia culture outside that I keep. You know that I feed other live foods to, like my mud skippers as an example. But I've never done brine shrimp, and I heard so much about it. And most recently, speaking with Master Breeder Dean and with Corey from Aquarium Co-op, they pretty much sold me on the idea that I've got to give it a try. So Aquarium Co-op sent me the new Ziss Brine Shrimp Hatchery. They sent this to me a few weeks ago, and full disclosure, I didn't pay for this. I'm not paid for using their product, this product, but they did give it to me for free, so just wanted to put that out there. But they sent it to me, and they also sent me the brine shrimp eggs, and that's a major part of having successful brine shrimp hatcheries or brine shrimp hatching, is you want to have eggs that have a high hatch factor, and these apparently do. Now, I don't have experience or anything to compare it with, but I can tell you that once I got this up and running, it was great. Now, I do want to share with you that originally I failed miserably doing this project. I set it all up, I did some research, thought what I did was correct, and just had like a fouled crash of a hatch. Now, what I discovered is it was user error, but also probably due to the water here in San Francisco. Now, normally, like if you live in an area where you have chlorine in your water system, you would not use a dechlorinator because the chlorine will actually help to eat into the casing of the egg, making for easier hatching, a little bit faster hatching, better hatching. But here in San Francisco, we don't have chlorine, we have chloramine, which is super toxic and probably would kill the shrimp when they hatched. So I used dechlorinator, but ultimately it didn't work. So I reached out to my good friend Dean, Master Breeder Dean, and asked him for his advice, sent him some pictures, and he told me exactly what to do. He sent me this long message on Messenger, and gave me perfect advice. I followed his advice, and it worked. So I've been using this for a while now. I've been having some successful hatches. It takes about 36 hours or so for these brine shrimp to hatch, and my fish gobble them up. So even some of the larger fish that you wouldn't think would be eating tiny baby brine shrimp, even like my Burchardi will eat them, my larger 5-star generals will eat them, the adults, all my shell dwellers will eat them, the mollies will eat them. So lots of different food, lots of different fish are eating it. I've been giving it to my bumblebee gobies, brackish water, gave some to my saltwater tank. So a real good food packed with nutrients and very easy to get going once you follow the instructions correctly and set it up. So what I'll do is I actually just set this up with a new hatch. I don't have hatched brine shrimp. I just set up a whole new batch about an hour ago. So what I'll do is I'll just show you some footage of me putting this together, talking about the different steps, and then we'll come back at the end and conclude. Alright, so first off, I just wanted to show you that the long message that I got from Dean, just with the detailed instruction, just so didn't want to miss anything and mess it up. So some things that you'll want to have on hand is some baking soda, You'll want to have a measuring spoon. This is the Aquarium Co-op measuring spoon that I use. You'll want to have some rock salt. You can use some reef salt, but rock salt, I use the Fritz rock salt. And what I was instructed to do is fill the water up and add 2 tablespoons of the Fritz rock salt. Now the water that I'm using is tank water from a seasoned tank, so it's not like fresh or anything. You'll also want to have like a small measuring spoon because I am adding 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda to this mix. So fill up with water about 1.5 inches or so to the top, 2 tablespoons of the salt, and 1/4 tablespoon of the baking soda. So that was a 1/8 tablespoon that you saw there. And then here I'm just turning on the air, and you'll just want to have the air on a get like a valve so you can control it and not have it too strong. And then I'm just giving it a little bit of stir. This is not necessary, but I just wanted to give it a little bit of a stir just to help have the water mix a little bit faster, the salt to dissolve a little bit faster. And then you add the brine shrimp eggs. Now I keep them in the refrigerator. You should keep them in the freezer or the refrigerator so that they stay fresh. These are the Aquarium Co-op brine shrimp eggs. So once you open them, you're going to want to put them in a dry, cool, or cold, I should say, area. Now, Dean was adding 1 teaspoon of brine shrimp eggs, and that's a lot. I'm not going through as many as he is with his breeding situation. So I just did a quarter of a teaspoon. And then the amount that you'd want to use just depends on how many fish you're feeding. So this is not going into all of my tanks, just some of my tanks. Some that I kind of want to jumpstart or help the fry grow a little bit faster. And then that's about it. So here you can see the amount of water flow or air flow. I'm not using an air stone. I was instructed to just use the rigid tube that the kit came with and run that to the bottom and just have the water running, or the air running enough to mix the water and the salt, and then also to have the eggs kind of tumble in this hatchery. And here you can kind of get a closer look. Now you do want to have a light. Light is important. It can also help with heating the water because you do want to have it heated, but also because the brine shrimp actually need that light to hatch, and they'll actually be drawn to it once they hatch. Now there is a hole in the top. There's 2 holes. One of those is for a heater. That large one's for a heater, and then the small one's for a thermometer. So if you were doing this, in a regular room, you could install a heater in that large hole and then the thermometer in the small hole. But for me, I heat the whole room, and the room always stays about anywhere from 79 to about 81 degrees. So you can see it's just a little bit over 80 degrees right here. So that's not necessary for me. So I just kind of cover that hole with a little PVC cap, but I probably don't even need to do that. I just kind of throw that on there for fun. But anyway, here you can just kind of see it mixing, and I've got that light there. Now you will notice here that some of the eggs, when you first put it in, will kind of get stuck to the side of the top just because they haven't had a chance to become waterlogged yet. So I just take like a little pipette, and after about an hour or so, I'll just kind of squirt some water onto those eggs that have kind of lapped up on the side. And when I squirt that, they just kind of fall back down and are in the hatchery. And this is the freezer and fridge combo that I have here in my fish room. So there you can see the eggs. I also keep my frozen bloodworms and frozen brine shrimp, my mealworms in here. And then of course my Fritz Turbo Start live bacteria that you have to keep refrigerated. So yeah, pretty easy, pretty detailed, but pretty easy to set up. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful to you. Hopefully you were able to follow along. Very simple. I'm sure that Aquarium Co-op or Dean will put out some information in the near future that's very detailed, talking about the specifics. But this is just kind of a very simple kind of get you going with this system. I will put links down below of all these products. I do want to disclose that even though this product was sent to me for free from Aquarium Co-op, I actually am sponsored by Fritz, so I just want to put that out there again. I like to be very upfront, and I do get paid sponsorship from Fritz, but very good products, obviously, or otherwise I wouldn't trust their products with all of my fish here in my fish room. So anyway, if you've done brine shrimp before, and I'm sure a lot of you have, I would love to read down below in the comments some of your secrets, your tips and tricks. Maybe if you've dealt with chloramine before with your water system, what do you do? For me, just using the tank water from another tank has been great for the last 3 or 4 batches that I've hatched now. So anyway, that's all I had for now, I think. Are there any teasers for this video? Oh, there is a big teaser for this video. So let's not even tease. Let's just get right into it. So hopefully you made it this far, and if you made it this far, I do have some exciting news to share. And I can give you partial news. That partial news is... Hey fish friends, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Zenzo from Tazawa Tanks. Now recently I told you guys that something really exciting was in the works, and something that I was working on that is kind of a game changer for me as far as my experience in the aquarium hobby. And I've actually been asked to not go into detail about it. Excuse me, sorry about the mask. I'm supposed to be wearing a mask outside right now. I'm in front of the San Francisco Zoo. I just kind of had a private walkthrough tour with one of the doctors here at the zoo, and there's some work that's going on right now. I can't really tell you what's going on behind the scenes, but there is something going on that's going to be super, super exciting. I know that if you're in San Francisco in the future, you're going to want to come here and see what's going on. But anyway, they reached out to me. I'm doing some work here. I'm going to be helping them with one of their exhibits, and just wanted to share that with you guys. So make sure that you do follow along and stay tuned. Anyway, so this new exhibit, I can't tell you. We did talk about it. He said, you know, don't really disclose what it is yet because we're not really there. When I was there, they had like heavy equipment, you know, digging holes in the ground, and they had construction crews, you know, ripping up the ground and stuff like that. So we're still some time away from the exhibit being ready, but it is going to be epic when it's done, and I'm super excited. So I'm helping them on the aquatic animal side, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. As I shared before, this is something that's very, it's new to me as far as something this large of a scale of helping somebody. I do help the local the public koi pond here in San Francisco with some of their water parameters and troubleshooting and stuff like that. And I've made videos about the koi pond before. And I'm not getting paid by the zoo. I just said, hey, I'll volunteer my time. I'll work with you guys and help you train your staff, etc. Because for me, it's just great to, you know, be immersed with that, and obviously I'll get some cool footage once it's done and everything. So anyway, make sure that you stick around for some of those upcoming videos. All right, now we're at the end. Hopefully you stuck around to the very end. But anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. We are getting close to 50,000 subscribers. I would love, love, love to be able to hit that within the next month or so. So make sure you sub, make sure you subscribe. That's, I guess, the same thing. Make sure you like this video, share it, all that good stuff. Comment down below. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.